Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, I guess little Chuck Schumer's shutdown stunt here is now getting fully exposed. You know, the Democrats want you to think it's about policy, but it's not. It's not about funding. It's not about helping Americans. No, we already know that. It's about helping illegal migrants. But at the end of the day, the true play here is manufacturing a political crisis, political manipulation. You might want to call it a psyop, a psychological operation. Well, it seems a part of Chuck Schumer's little plan here has now leaked. Speaker Johnson is confirming that apparently Chuck Schumer intends to keep the government shut down until after the Antifa-led No Kings rally in Washington, D.C. on October 18th. And that right there basically tells you all that you need to know. This is another sabotage event. It's more political performance, political theater. Democrats are deliberately holding federal workers and services hostage up until the convenient moment where they could stage a nationally coordinated protest, all of course to manipulate public sentiment, to create an outrage narrative to weaponize against Republicans. They're causing deliberate pain just so they could run this little activism grift. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so take a look at this. Here's Speaker Johnson blowing the whistle on Chuck Schumer's little plan. Take a look.
Very patient guy, but I have had it with these people. They're playing games with real people's lives. The theory we have right now, they have a Hate America rally that's scheduled for October 18th on the National Mall. It's all the pro-Hamas wing and the Antifa people. They're all coming out. Some of the House Democrats are selling T-shirts for the event, and it's being told to us that they won't be able to reopen the government until after that rally because they can't face their rabid base. I mean, this is serious business hurting real people. And I'm beyond words. I can't believe they're actually doing this.
So this is what Democrats have become. They're hostage takers. They've now shut the government down on purpose, and we know why. They want to freeze the economy. They want to cause chaos for American workers, then use that chaos to point the finger at Republicans, mobilizing their little Harry Sisson army. Ooh, Donald Trump's the president, therefore it's his fault, right? Republicans control the government, therefore this shutdown is automatically their fault, even though it's Democrats shutting the government down. It's more fabricated outrage, the outrage machine in full effect, and of course it's carefully timed, carefully coordinated. They've been working this No Kings rally, and obviously something like this takes some time to put together. They've probably spent an absurd amount of money, millions upon millions of dollars coordinating this thing. They're going to try to make it the biggest thing ever, to have hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of useless, unemployed losers all across the country, pretending as if they're protesting something really grave. And now it's lining up perfectly. They've shut down the government. They're going to stage this protest and try to make it seem as if there's a genuine uprising against the president. Oh, look at all the chaos that Donald Trump is creating. It's his shutdown. Absolutely disgusting. And you'll notice across social media and across the mainstream media, nobody's even talking about this. Instead of addressing the actual scandal here, they're all focused on attacking Speaker Mike Johnson for his labeling of this No Kings rally as a Hate America rally.
It's a rally. It's called No Kings. It's not called the Hate America rally. How ridiculous that is. It's just a rally. And again,
have you been to one of these rallies? Have you seen the signs they carry?
Have
you seen the signs they carry?
They're all the same.
Impeach, imprison, fascist.
This is not the first No Kings rally, by the way. There was one this summer. So this is the second No Kings rally. And Speaker Johnson didn't have to refer to Marxists and pro-Hamas. This is just another way for him to deflect from what's happening. And because people want to peacefully assemble and use their right to express themselves, he's now trying to characterize these as pro-Hamas rallies. That's not what these are. If you've been to these rallies, you will see who's there.
No, Speaker Johnson, the No Kings rally on October 18th is not a hate America rally. In fact, it's quite the contrary. It's a love America rally. It's a rally of millions of people all over this country who believe in our Constitution, who believe in American freedom, and are not going to let you and Donald Trump turn this country into an authoritarian society. It's a group of people who are disgusted that you and your friends want to double healthcare premiums in this country and take healthcare away from 15 million Americans. The right to protest is what America is about. You are not going to stop us.
They're not focused on this absolutely insane report that Democrats are attempting a massive manipulation campaign. No, they're pushing fake outrage over a phrase that Speaker Johnson said. Ooh, that's not true. It's not a hate America rally. No, of course not. Even though they'll likely be burning American flags, and all these people ever do is attempt to attack and sabotage President Trump, even when he's working on behalf of American interest. And obviously this is their propaganda game, right? Control the framing, avoid the facts, avoid the actual scandal here, and just stick on these pathetic little semantic arguments. And that's probably the perfect word right there, arguments. Democrats are losing the real argument. They're losing public support. They're losing voters in droves. And so now they're doing what they always do when their back's up against the wall. The default strategy of chaotic politics. This shutdown is not about spending. It's not about health care. It's all about 2026 messaging, galvanizing their base. They need an orange man bad style narrative again. They need Donald Trump pictured as the villain, even though he's ending 1,000-year frickin' wars in the Middle East. They're basically trying to recreate what they did in 2018. At that point, it was Russia, 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 Russia. And now they're hoping to do the same thing because they see what's happening. They see how they're falling behind. Sure, we saw a couple early push polls showing Democrats performing admirably going into 2026, but now we got all the best pollsters starting to release their generic ballot data, and it's showing Republicans in the lead. Look at this Quantus Insight poll that has Republicans at 43% and Dems at 42%. And of course, it's important to mention that these early polls and just generic ballot data in general usually tend to miss towards Democrats. They already have the polling advantage baked in, and yet despite that, they're behind. That means in reality, they're likely walking into a serious disaster situation in 2026. And that's not even accounting all the redistricting stuff that's happened. And so Democrats are doing the only thing they know. They're not going to play this from the grassroots. They're not going to actually try to win on the issues or formulate good messaging. They don't really have anything substantive against the president. For the most part, his agenda is widely supported by the American people, and so they're practicing the nuclear option as per usual. Manufacture a crisis, stage a massive protest, spend money to pretend as if you actually have a grassroots groundswell. Try to frame it as the people rising up against Republicans. It's pathetic. And honestly, I think this time it's not going to work. I think the people have caught on. They fell for Russiagate in 2018. They fell for the Roe v. Wade leak in 2022. But in 2026, I don't think the Democrats are going to be able to recreate the same magic. I think they've abused the public's good faith. It's all but dried up, evaporated. I don't think people believe them anymore. I think people see through the manipulation. They see it for what it is. Pure sabotage and political theater. You know, Chuck Schumer might think that he's engaging in some serious strategy here, but I think this whole thing is going to blow up in their faces. They're using government workers as pawns. And now they think after everything's been exposed, all their fake manufactured crises and protests, all their paid protesters, they think people aren't going to catch on to what they're doing, as if a bunch of boomers in pink hats and a bunch of masked up Antifa goons once again taking to the streets is going to put them in the people's good favor. I don't know. And keep in mind, this is the second No Kings protest. They already did this during the Doge stunt, when their Antifa goons were burning down Tesla dealerships. If it didn't work then, what makes you think it's going to work this time? And actually, since then, their numbers have gone down. I think they've exposed themselves. And now what's likely to happen here is they're going to take the blame for this shutdown. They're going to look like complete fools who didn't move the needle at all with their latest little stunt. The party's approval rating is below 30%, and I think this is likely going to keep it the same or make it even worse. But anyways, Chuck Schumer's actual intention has now been fully exposed. More political performance art, more chaos, and zero frickin' substance. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.